This is Groovey, here with John from Iced Earth, here at the Summit Music Hall, Denver, Colorado. How's it going, man?
Going good, man.
Nice, nice. This tour is insane.
Yeah.
How's it been going for you so far?
That's been killer, man. I mean, we had the best gig in Salt Lake City we've ever had last night. It was one that I was kind of, because, we haven't been there since 2004, and then before that, I think, maybe 2001 or maybe even in the late 90s, but they were never really amazing gigs. Like, we were always stuck in some shithole on a Monday or a Tuesday night or whatever. But last night was a Friday night, and the people came out in full force, and it was amazing. I mean, they were pumped up and just really, really good energy. Probably one of the best shows on the North American tour.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Some pretty huge props for Salt Lake.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was shocked. I was telling the guys, get ready, man. This might kind of, but total opposite. So it was good. They proved me wrong. I was happy about that.
All right, Denver, we need to deliver tonight and smack the crap out of Salt Lake. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it. Denver's usually really good for us, so I think it'll be great.
Oh, I mean, this show, because we cover stuff all the time. I mean, this show, people have just been talking about for weeks, months, and people are stoked.
Cool.
Yeah. It's going to be freaking rad. Now, I've read somewhere that this is like the most extensive tour you've ever been on. Like, you've booked like from Europe to here to some other stuff.
Well, yeah. Right now, I mean, we're on the second leg of the world tour. We did Europe 2 months in Europe before Christmas, and we went everywhere from London to Moscow and Helsinki down to Cyprus. I mean, we did a lot of shows. Went to a lot of new territories that we haven't been in before in Eastern Europe, and then this leg is North America, South America, Australia, and Asia, all in one shot. So it's like a 3-month stretch.
Wow.
So yeah, it's pretty extensive. We're playing in China for the first time. We're playing in Australia for the first time.
Now, how's China?
Well, we haven't been there yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No, we're gonna. That's later. After North America, then South America, then Australia, and then Asia. So I don't know. Symphony X has been there, so I was grilling the guys, asking them how it was. And Mike Romeo was telling me it's pretty kick-ass. They're metalheads just like everywhere else in the world, and
right.
It's a different culture, but they react, and they said it was great. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see what it's all about.
It's been nice to know after the huge next leg of the tour. Is there anything else planned?
Yeah, we're already lining up some festivals and things in Europe, some headline shows for the latter part of the summer. Right now, we're working on trying to get a support tour to be a support band for a bigger band, and that's really all I can say right now. I hope it happens, because that's really the thing that Iced Earth needs to do. I mean, we've always been preaching to the choir.
Right.
It's just been difficult through the years for us to get on tour with other bands. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know if it's politics or what, but we've only opened for 3 bands in the history of Iced Earth.
Really?
Yeah, and it's Blind Guardian in the very beginning in Europe in 1990, and then we did a few dates with Megadeth, like 10 dates with them right before Dave broke the band up. Mm-hmm. That was, I think that was like in 2002 or something like that. So, and then we did Heaven and Hell in the UK. We opened for Heaven and Hell and Lamb of God, which was awesome. It really helped us in that market. So I mean, that's it. And it's not like we haven't been trying, but I don't know what the deal is. But we've always been preaching to the choir. We need to expand our audience, and the only way to do that is to play for bigger bands that don't know who we are.
I guess everyone should just keep their fingers crossed out there, because you guys deserve the big shot.
Yeah, that's what we're working towards, and I think now, the band in the last 10 years hasn't been nearly active enough. And some of that's because of my health problems, some business reasons. But now we've got a lineup that's like ready to go, and everybody's really committed to it and happy to be here. And there's no hidden agendas. There's nothing but just the brotherhood ready to go out and kick ass. So it's really cool. And I think once we get out there and show that we're doing it, then hopefully that'll make the agents realize that we're forced to be reckoned with together and do what's right.
Or there's going to be a smackdown.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably from the Iced Earth fan base.
Exactly. So the new album came out, September, October?
October. At the end of October.
Yeah. I got it. It's freaking seriously badass. If you don't have it, you're seriously need to. Now, what was it like putting that album together?
It was fun. You know, we had a really great time. A lot of pressure, obviously, but I work well under pressure, and I always have. I mean, we had a pretty short time frame to make it all happen from a writing standpoint, and the production was difficult because we were flying back and forth between Europe and the States all summer. Well, for me, I had to go to Florida because I'm involved in the production process. The guys would come in and do their parts, and then they would go home. But you know, I was there for every session, so it was a matter of like, you know, every other weekend we were flying to Europe to do festivals and then flying back to the studio in Tampa to work. And so it would really be like leave on a Thursday and leave Tampa on a Thursday, go do a few shows in Europe and come back Sunday night, and then to Tampa, and then be back at 10 a.m. Monday morning in the studio. It was pretty, like, I was in a constant state of jet lag, so I was chugging lots of coffee, and but we still had a blast through the whole thing. I mean, it was through the writing, the production process, you know, recording and the mixing was all fun, and so it always, whenever there's good energy behind the album, those always end up being the most successful albums.
Right.
You know, whenever things are really, you know, just on, it's I mean, I've been doing this a long time, so I can look at our catalog and I know what the vibes were behind the album or what was going on, whether it was in my personal life or whatever. You know, you can always see where the energy's good and where the vibe is positive. Those are the strongest albums in our catalog.
Right, and I think, I mean, going on a limb, I think it's probably your strongest, but it's definitely a freaking strong album.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely one of them. I mean, I can't really, for me, people always say, what's your favorite? If you had to decide what's your favorite, it's like, that's like picking out what is my, if I had 10 kids, I have 10 studio albums out, which is my favorite child. You know, I mean, I can't really do that because I know all the back stuff behind all the albums, and I know what a challenge they've been, and especially some of the ones that were done in really difficult periods, and you know, but I think this is right up there with Something Wicked and Storm Rider and Dark Saga, which are probably my favorites. I mean, Glorious Burden too, that's definitely one of them. I mean, so like I said, but it's really hard to pick one. I can't.
Right. Okay, so for the rest of 2012, what else is going on? Like new videos, some new merch or anything like that?
Well, I'm sure there'll be some new merch. Videos, we're talking about doing one more. We've done 2 so far. And there's talk now about possibly doing a live DVD on this tour, which would be cool because it is Stu's first album cycle with us, and I think it'd be a cool thing to capture if it's done right. You know, if we can find the right place to do it, and we're kicking around some ideas right now, so we'll see what happens. If that happens, it'll probably be late in the summer that we would record something.
Right on. Put up some questions to the fans. Mind if
no problem.
Please? By the way, I publicly made fun of someone reading questions the other day, and now I'm doing it, so I'm a complete douchebag. But I could not freaking remember these. So, when will the dream tour of Iced Earth, Blind Guardian, and then Demons and Wizards happen all together at one show? I'd fucking kill to see that. I'd even pay $250 for a ticket if I had to.
You know, if I had $1 for every time that question's been asked, I could retire. We know there's a huge demand for it. I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility something like that may happen someday, and we always get asked when's the next Demons album, and Hansi and I are going to do it. We'll do it for the rest of our lives, but it's always the scheduling thing.
Sure.
And we're really busy guys, and we have to have some time for our families, and it's a big deal. And to do the way we want to do the next Demon album is to be in person when we're writing as much as possible instead of doing it through the mail. It has a different energy when you can do it that way, and we really want to make it special. I mean, if it was just about a money grab, then we could do it. You know, I mean, but we're brothers, man, and we know we create this special Frankenstein when we're together. So we want to do it the right way, and it's probably going to be a couple years before something's actually out. But we're starting to try to look at holes in our schedule where we can get together and at least get some of the writing going, and that's the first big step. So it'll happen. I just can't say when.
Right on.
And as far as the tour goes, that's also a trick because Iced Earth and Blind Guardian seem to be on very different cycles now. So and that's the thing. If we had our albums coming out at the same time, then we could go out and promote those albums on a tour. It makes it more attractive. But some people say that doesn't matter because we have such vast catalogs now after been doing what we're doing for all these years that we could probably still just throw together a tour and it would be a really big success. So things are being talked about. I'll say
Nice.
that.
Nice. Right on. Well, we want the scoop when it happens.
All right.
All right. Any cool plans for your birthday coming up on March 15th? Should I say how old you are?
I'm ancient, dude.
I'm older than you.
I'm centuries.
I got a year on you.
I've been around for centuries. No, I'm what would be like 44, I think.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, man. What's going on here? Yeah.
How'd you age? What's up with that?
I don't know, man. But I don't know. I have no plans. I don't even know where we're going to be. I'm sure the guys have plans. I would imagine.
Right on.
Probably be some pranks on
Brothers.
sure, that night, wherever we happen to be. But no, I have no plans for it. To me, I don't really care about birthdays. It's just another day.
Right.
So it doesn't, whatever.
Well, obviously your fans here.
Yeah, well, that's cool. But
Send happy birthday to him on YouTube, Facebook, all nine yards.
bottles of Johnny Walker. Black label. Or if you want to really go in blue label, that's really cool.
Ooh. All right, there's one last question, and it's actually our survey question. We ask everyone coming through town. And it's brutal and it's horrible, and you're going to forget your childhood. It's going to be bad. In your entire career, touring, everything, what is the worst thing you've ever eaten on the road that probably put you in the hospital and maybe you lost your mind?
I haven't actually ever had that happen. I've never been that sick to where, you have issues like, it's the funny thing is even going into Europe and places, there's different bacteria in the water.
Right.
So you're always going to get a little bit of a stomach issue at first. It's not like you hear stories about going down to Mexico or whatever, where Troy, last time we were there, he got really sick because he made the mistake of putting ice cubes in his Coke. That was it. He didn't drink the water. He just wasn't thinking. He put ice cubes in the Coke, and he couldn't go see the pyramids the next day because he was really sick. So it's not that kind of stuff. Really, when you travel this much, your body's constantly fighting. Your immune system's got to be on, and because you're dealing with different. Your body gets used to all this stuff in your environment where you live, and then when you're constantly hitting new places, your body's getting challenged all the time. I would say the weirdest thing was when we were in Greece. One time we were there years ago. Might have even been on the Live in Athens recording. We went to a family-owned restaurant, and they brought out a lamb's head, and with the eyes and shit still in it. It was cooked, but it was and they were all like, "Whoa!" And they gave it to us. And it was a big deal. We were really happy you guys are in a restaurant. We want you to. This is a huge delicacy. And we're like, "Yeah, awesome." Everybody's like, "Whoa, dude!" The eyes.
Where do I
brains,
start?
the whole shit. Yeah, so that's probably the weirdest.
Did anyone actually eat the eyes?
No, I don't think so.
Brains?
Brains, I didn't eat any of it. I was like, oh man, I'm so full, I just can't.
God.
Yeah, that was probably the weirdest food thing. I don't know if anybody ate anything from it, they didn't get sick. So.
Right on, well, that's pretty fucking weird. Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Right on, man. Thanks for your time.
All right, man. Cool.
Cheers.
Yeah.
It's Groovy Weird Summer Musical, Denver, Colorado. Here with John from Iced Earth. Cheers. Let's go do some pints.